I need to be sure the audio is good, loud and clear. So if you can hear me, kindly use the chat box to confirm. Good morning to you, sir. Jonathan, can you hear me? How's the audio? Can you please confirm it's loud and clear? And if you can hear me, I need more confirmations, please. All right, thank you very much. Bakshay, it's great to have you join us, sir. All right, thank you very much, Jonathan. Good morning to you. You're welcome, sir. All right, let's get to it. So, good morning once again. Good morning, ladies. Good morning, gentlemen. Thank you for joining us again on today's edition of the Morning Market Review. Good morning, traders as well, gentlemen and ladies. All right. If it's your first time too, good morning to you. You're welcome. And thank you for joining us. It's great to have you on today's edition of the Morning Market Review. All right. Thank you, Felix. Thank you for joining us, sir. So, as a quick reminder, on this forum every day, we get to look at what's going on in the markets, all right, in terms of fundamental setups and technical setups as well. And this is also with the hope that we're able to pick one or two entries for these sessions and trade ideas for today and even for the rest of the week. Okay. Let's get right to it without further ado. And usually, as is custom, I like to start with the majors and then from there, um, start examining other pairs of interest. Okay, so I'm going to be presenting about three, four pairs, and then you can go straight to the ones we are interested in. You can drop them in the comment box when the time comes. All right. Okay. So for today, we have for fundamentals, let me switch to it. Okay, right. So as it concerns fundamentals today, all eyes will be on the New Zealand unemployment rate, all right, which is very late in the night, 11:45 p.m. Nigerian time. Of course, it's important. You can even see that the envelope is red, which signifies high impact expected of that particular news. All right. And then, of course, it measures the percentage of total workforce that is unemployed and also seeking employment. All right. It's during the previous quarter. Okay. Now, even though it's generally viewed as a lagging indicator, the number of unemployed people, of course, is an important signal of overall economic health. Okay. because consumer spending is also highly correlated with labor market conditions. Okay. Now, from the previous value, we have 5.1%. Forecast is at 5.3%. Okay. And this previous value of 5.1%, that's the highest level since 2020. Right. That's the highest level that has been reported since 2020. Okay. And this increase majorly as a result of job losses and a slowdown in hiring, right, due to economic challenges. Okay. So according to consensus, it is estimated to have risen even further. All right. So we have forecast at 5.3%. Have forecast at 5.3%, meaning that it is estimated to have even increased further. All right. So, of course, we now wait for the actual results to be released at 11:45 p.m. Okay. And of course, this will give us the updated insight into the labor market's performance. All right. This is especially for New Zealand dollar. Okay. So, generally, because it is unemployment, so we're interested for this to be a good news. We're interested in the actual results being less than the forecast. All right. So actual less than forecast would be good for New Zealand dollar. All right. And then you can expect peers like NZD, USD, NZD, uh, NZD, JPY, pounds, NZD, and the rest of the NZD peers. All right. Would be the instruments or assets to trade for that particular news. Don't forget, like I said, the actual result less than forecast will be good for the New Zealand dollar. If it increases further as anticipated or as predicted, then it's going to be bad for NZD. All right. So having said that, that's for as far as fundamentals is concerned from the Fed economic calendar. Okay. So I'm going to head straight to the trading platform for technical setups that we have. Okay, so as a quick check, I believe we can still see my screen. All right, so we have the USD index displayed, right? And as you must have noticed, I like to start from here to understand the direction of the dollar, and then we can easily relate this to the rest of the major pairs and other assets as well. Okay, so for the USD index, right? I remember on the last session, last week Tuesday, uh, I'm going to get it here. Let's see, right? Right, 29. Okay. So at that time, I was showing us that we're looking towards 99.6 for would to a very large extent determine where this goes next. Okay. And again, I also said that it's possible that the dollar index has found bottom at 98, which is a critical support level. All right, has found bottom at this critical support level after a very aggressive sell-off from this resistance at 110. All right, after this aggressive sell-off, gave us series of lower highs and lower lows up until this critical support level at 98. Okay, so it's very much possible that this is going to be the bottom for the USD index, and then from here we start to see a series of higher lows and higher highs and continue to push the world higher. All right, that's very much a possibility. Okay, as long as this level stays intact as your point, that's the 98 level. I can expect higher prices from the USD index. All right, and again, the reason is not far-fetched. All right, we look back to how price has reacted at that level multiple times. Remember, I also highlighted the triple bottom pattern here. Right. At the same 98 price level, this was March 2022. This was March 18 the same year. And then finally, towards the end of March the same year, it was triple bottom. And then that aggressive rally towards 110 resistance right there. Okay? So fast forward to what we currently have, price back at 98 after a retest of the 110 resistance, all right? So it's now back at the 98 level. So I expect this to continue to push higher, all right? Just like we saw back in 2022. Okay, that's very much a possibility. Okay, but first, this 99.6 level, of course, is posing to be very challenging for the USD index for buyers. It has to take out that resistance in order to expect higher prices. And then, if you also switch to all of this is on the daily time frame, all right? That's the expectation that I have on the daily time frame. And remember, the daily time frame is like our anchor chart. The best place to start, actually, for me, in my opinion, on this time frame and chart, we can determine the trend and also the important support and resistance levels. Okay, so usually I like to use the daily time frame as my anchor chart where the main analysis is carried out. And then, of course, you can tune down to a much lower one, as low as 15 minutes for entry opportunities. All right. So that's the expectation on this daily time frame. And then we now switch to 4 hours. It looks even more interesting. Again, this is the bottom of the expect at 98 support level, right? And then this also is the head and shoulder pattern. All right. But for this, it's the inverse. All right. For this, it's the inverse. If you, okay, I'm going to show us this on University and even on gold. Remember, we saw this also on gold, and then it gave us about close to 600 pips. All right. But it was head and shoulder pattern for gold. We'll get there in a minute. All right. But for USD index, what we have is the inverse head and shoulder. Okay. The inverse head and shoulder pattern. All right. So here we have the head, we have the left shoulder, and then we have the right shoulder. Okay. So for these two play out, price has to take out the neckline, head, and shoulder. And that comes in around price level 100.2. Okay. Right. So for this to be confirmed, price has to take out the neckline at around price level 100.2. This one right here. Right. So for USD index, that's the expectation that I have. But of course, price has to take out this resistance at 99.6 first, and then we're looking towards the 100.2 level. And as soon as that is broken, then it will confirm the inverse head and shoulder pattern. So we need a break above the neckline to confirm that. The neckline, like I said, is around 500 points. So for USD index. And again, what would invalidate this would be if we continue to see selling pressure below 99.6 resistance. Currently, price is below 99.6, right? Currently, price is below 99.6. So we need to treat this as resistance at 99.6, right? So that's the expectation that I have for the index. So having said that, we can now head to Euro USD to see what we have. Okay, so for Euro USD, if you remember, you have joined us long enough, you would know that for Euro USD, this is one point that I highlighted to us. It's more visible on the monthly time frame. That's why I'm here. Now, let me be quick to also mention that as a day trader, we're really not paying. Reason is simple. I mentioned this multiple times. Reason is because these time frames, weekly and monthly, are so far out that we really don't have much significance to our trading as day trader. All right. But of course, we can use those time frames to get some perspective. All right. And this is why it's quite important to me. I have this descending trend line here, which has resisted price multiple times, first of all, right here as well, here as well. And then recently, we got a break above that trend line. Okay, so moving forward, I expect this trend line to act as support, and then price continues to push higher. Okay, now in the event that price closes back below the trend line, all right, then what it means is that the whole of the price above the trend line will be treated as a breakout, all right? A breakout that failed, okay? So as a result of this breakout, ideally, we should continue to see higher prices. Price should continue to push higher above the trend line. But like I said, in the event that we get it goes back below the trend line, then the whole of the price above the trend line will be treated as a breakout. And then for me, that's one of my favorite trade setups, takeouts, because they usually, apart from it being a high probability trade, it also triggers an extended or extensive move in the opposite direction. All right. So if we get that right closing back below the trend line, then it has the potential to sell off aggressively. Good morning to you. Thank you for joining us on that Bitcoin. All right. So that's what it looks like on monthly time frame. So back to daily now. Back to daily. Now on the daily time frame, this is the trend line that we saw on monthly. All right. Now on the daily time frame, price is already back below the trend line. Okay. So at that trend line, it gave us this bearish engulfing candle. Also remember we mentioned this during the last session. It gave us this bearish engulfing candle, which is sufficiently a very fast trend line on the daily. This is it for time frame. Now we started with the USD index, and then we saw inverse head and shoulder. All right, on 4 hours. Okay, say the head, the left shoulder, and right shoulder. On Euro USD, the same 4 hours time frame, what we have here is the head and shoulder pattern. Now for USD index, it's the opposite, all right? Inverse head and shoulder. So for Euro USD, head and shoulder pattern. This is the head, the left shoulder, and the right shoulder. So for Euro USD now, like I said, if you turn this on its head, we turn it around, it will give you inverse head and shoulder. All right. So again, for Euro USD, we need tries to take out the neckline, which comes in around 1.12831 price level. All right. So for the head and shoulder pattern to take effect and be fully confirmed, you need to see a break below the neckline again at price level 1.12831. All right. And then for even for Euro USD, of course, the market has the final words. As much as possible, we look for technical setups, we look for confirmations, probabilities, and things like that to be able to take fantastic trade decisions. All right. So as much as we have that expectation, the market, of course, has the final say as well. And what would invalidate this setup would be if we now get a close back above resistance at 14,109. All right, that would cancel this potential head and shoulder uh, setup. Okay, but for us to confirm it, we need to price to break below the neckline. Again, comes in at price level 1.2831. All right. So in the midterm, let's see. This is daily. This is daily. Let's get to 4 hours for some perspectives. So I have this. Right. So I have this on 4 hours time frame, and then there's another one on daily. Going to highlight it to us because we need that most ideal entry point. All right. Okay. So heading back to 4 hours. This is a typical example of a descending wedge. All right. So on this 4 hours time frame now, we have this trend line resistance. You can replicate this on the chart. It's quite simple. All right. You can put this on the chart so that you can watch the same levels that I'm looking at. So I have this trend line resistance right there. You can see price is right on that trend line. Okay, so what this also means is that if you look back to what has happened, every time price touched that trend line, it declined. Right. First, we got one example there, and then a few pips away right there, another decline. Here as well, a decline. Here as well, a decline. All right. And if technical analysis is something to go by, you can have the same expectation right around this area. So what would confirm this is we now need to wait for a reversal pattern around this level. All right. We now need to see some bearish pressure, all right, around this area. Okay. Right. So I'll be looking towards here for a reversal pattern to sell. Okay. But if price takes out that resistance, it takes out that area, and we see a close above that level, all right, then that would be bullish for Euro USD. That would be bullish for Euro USD, especially if the USD index is below 99.6, all right? If this stays below 99.6 and continues to push lower, then you can expect Euro USD to continue to push higher, right? To continue to push higher because the Euro USD is essentially the inverse of the dollar index. All right. So that's what I need to see here to make trade decisions. Yeah. So up next, I'll have pounds USD. All right, have pounds USD. This too has been, of course, bullish since it tested this critical support at 1.2800. All right, from this bottom or from this critical support level, we started seeing series of higher lows and higher highs up until the high here at 1 point should be 345. Right. Okay. Now, this is daily time frame for pounds USD again, and then one thing I want to point out here, we have a potential for a fake out here as well. Okay. Now, the high is at 1.345. Okay, so I'm going to take out this level right now, and then see what happens back here. This was September of 2024. Okay. Now, before this high here, we got this series of higher lows and higher highs. All right. And then it pushed all the way to the 1.345 resistance. Okay. Now, the mini price closed above this resistance at 1.33. This one here, the mini price closed above that. Of course, that's at that time was a breakout. Okay, and usually we expect or price should have continued to push higher above this resistance at 1.33. Okay, so price closed above the resistance, and then uh, above that resistance, we expect the resistance to turn to support, and then we continue to see higher prices from that level. But that did not quite happen. After the close above the resistance at 1.33, price closed back below that support, okay, and then it triggered this very aggressive sell-off above 1.33, okay. Now, for the current level here, we also see price take out 1.33, close back below 1.33, and then again above 1.33, we should continue to see higher prices, okay, series of higher lows and higher highs. But so far, that has not quite played out, all right. And then again, we have a potential fake out on our hands. But unlike what we got here back in September of 2022, the minute it closed back below 1.33, it was pretty straightforward, over 1,000 pips right there. Okay, but currently it's been a struggle. All right, it's been a struggle for pounds USD. All right, and that would mean that we could still get higher prices from pounds USD. Okay, so what it also means is that above this 1.33 price level, we can expect price to be bullish above 1.33. All right. But as long as it stays below 1.33, as long as it stays below 1.33, then that's the potential for a repeat of what we got back in September of 2024, right? Yeah, back in September of 2024. So this is one that, of course, I'll be adding to my watch list and to see how this plays out, so that if we eventually get a fake out above 1.33, then we can expect an aggressive move in the opposite direction. All right. But first, we need price to close below 1.33. Right. Again, because for pound USD is a counter currency, the direction moving forward will be largely dependent on what we get from the USD index right here. Okay. If the USD index again, just like for Euro USD, stays below 99.6, then you can expect further decline for USD index. Or if it closes back above 99.6, then we can expect Euro USD and even pound USD to fall from the current levels. That's for pound to USD. Okay, so now moving on to USD CAD, it's of course one of interest. I've mentioned it multiple times for two reasons. Number one, this range, this consolidation from it should be about 2 years, from September of 2022, okay, to October of 2024. All right, we see this consolidation moving from resistance to support, back to resistance, back to support, back to resistance, and on until we got a break above the resistance. All right, and then that gave rise to close to 1,000 pips movement right there. All right. Let me also mention that the longer a consolidation phase states, the more aggressive the resulting breakout usually is. Okay, so eventually we got that breakout around October of 2024, and then give rise to this close to 1,000 pips. Right. So fast forward to what we got here between December of 2024 and April. All right, and April was also got this consolidation, and then eventually it broke the support side, then that gave rise to this decline as well. Okay, and right about now, price is now back at the top of the previous consolidation. All right, this 2 year long consolidation was between 1.387 1.387 resistance and 1.32 support. Okay, so now price is struggling around that 1.387 level. Okay, so what we need to see here, this is the daily time frame, by the way. What we need to see here is for price to close above 1.387 if this is going to get released from the current levels. All right, below 1.387 it is bearish below 1.387. All right, which is a major resistance. All right, looking at the 2 year consolidation phase that we got from 2022 to 2024 showed us earlier. All right, so price is now back below 1.387. So for this to get bullish, we need price to take out the 1.387 resistance. Below 1.387, it's going to be bearish for USD CAD. All right, below 1.387. Now this is daily time frame. Let's check what it looks like on 1 hour. Okay, see how it's quite messy on 1 hour. Okay, so for USD CAD on my 1 hour time frame, this is what I need to watch. Okay, I have this trend line or this trend line here. So potentially, I'll be waiting for price to come to this support. All right, I'll be waiting for price to return to this support level. It's currently bearish below that trend line. So I need price to come back to the support, and then from this support, depending on the patterns that I get here, all right? So like from this 1.378, if I get a bullish reversal pattern from 378, okay, then I'll be interested in buying USD CAD right here, all right? Interested in buying USD CAD, all right? Now, if we don't get a push back to 378, and instead, what we see is a close above this trend line right here on the 1 hour time frame, then that would also be bullish for USD CAD, considering the fact that that same trend line has acted as resistance multiple times for USD CAD, right? So either way, still going to be a win for me. So I need price to number one, come back to the support. I see bullish patterns at that support, and then that would be my trigger to long USD CAD. If it doesn't return to that support, and then you see it break above this trend line, then I can also take my buy above the trend line. But I also need to be mindful of 1.387 resistance. For time frame, we started on daily, and then this is happening on the 1 hour time frame, the 1 hour time frame. All right. Of course, it's been silent in the markets, but it's beginning to set up for fantastic trade opportunities. Okay, we haven't seen much movement in recent times. It's been more of consolidation. All right, there's so much uncertainty, but in my opinion, I believe most of the markets assets are now setting up for fantastic trade opportunities. All right, so that's for USD CAD. And then moving on to USD switcher, it's one that I also want to point out to us also for trade opportunities, all right? So for USD switcher, this is the daily time frame. This is weekly. There's one critical level here. Okay, it's at 0.84. It's at 0.84. Now, why is it critical? Let me show us. This is support here at 0.84. Back here as well at 0.84. Now, this is weekly time frame, okay? We got this spike as well. Here as well, 0.84. Say. Right. So last time price returned to 0.84 here was in 2015. See that was in 2015. Last time price was at 0.84 here, 2015. Okay. Now that means it's been over 10 years since price got to that 0.84 level. And then fast forward to what we got here. Fast forward to what we got here. Price broke below 0.84 critical level. Okay. So if we get the way this is, I expect this to play out to become a high probability trade for me, is if price takes out this resistance at 0.84. All right. I'll be looking out for USD CHF. It's one that I'm very much interested in. I need price to take out the 0.84 resistance so that the price here would be a fake out, all right? To be a fake out, right? So if I get that, that means, so what I'm saying in essence is that for us to confirm that this is a breakout that failed and it tries to close back, excuse me. Okay, so for this to play out as expected, I need price to close above 0.84 price level so that all of this there be a fake out, and then the expectation is that it triggers an extensive in the opposite direction. All right. So what we need to see here for USD CHF I'll be watching this very closely, is for price to close above 0.84. This is what it looks like on daily. On 1 hour time frame, this is what we have. Right. On 1 hour time frame, this is what we have. Okay. All right. So again, of course, the market has the final say, right? The market has the final say. Okay. Well, that's the expectation I have. I need to see price take out 0.84 to confirm that the goal of the price here is the take out, and then I can expect that move in the opposite direction. And that would be a very fantastic setup to see play out. Right. And then I have gold as well before we move to the instruments that you are interested in. Okay. So on gold, I don't know if you caught the about 600 pips more, all right, on gold. We pointed it out last week. Then it shows right there. If you remember, so we got the high at should be 3496. Of course, gold is one of my favorite assets to trade. And then that's the high, right? And then um, we have support yet again at 360. Just stay with me. It's going to make sense to me. Right? And then this should be the 330. Okay. Now, this is daily time frame. All right, this is daily time frame. No doubt, this has been aggressively bullish. All right, that's been aggressively bullish, and of course, it's majorly due to the uncertainty that we have in the world economy. Right, and at times like this, investors tend to flock to gold as a safe haven. All right, to protect their investments. Okay, and that's why this has been breaking through, even smashing through different resistance. All right. So this is what you said on daily. And then what we saw on 4 hours time frame that triggered the over 600 pips move is this. Okay. The head and shoulder pattern here, the head, right? And then we got the left shoulder right here, and then the right shoulder. Okay, and then I also give us the neckline. Okay, I also give us the neckline at this was what we did for the neckline. Remember? Okay. All right. So at that time, price was around this area. That was last week Tuesday, last session we had. All right. Price was around this area, and then I gave us this levels to watch at that time. All right. And then I pointed out how it would take a break of that neckline. Okay. We got the neckline with this trend line here. Right. And then I highlighted how it would take a break below the neckline to confirm the head and shoulder pattern. And then that gave rise to, uh, okay, there's support somewhere there. Right. Okay. So the minute we got the break below the trend line, right here. Of course, if you consider this, you could have sold, but it didn't quite fall here. If you set stop loss, it could have taken you out, all right? But of course, it's part of the game. It's part of the what we experience as traders, all right? So, and then yet another opportunity set up here. And then this will be the next trigger for a sell. And that was very fantastic. At least if you sold all the way to the support here, you have gotten over 600 pips. And you know what? Over 600 pips can mean for gold. Very, very fantastic. It was really, really fantastic. I tell you. All right. So currently we have price back above the neckline. All right. Pretty much bullish. Okay. Pretty much bullish above the neckline. Don't forget this trend line here is yet again our neckline. All right. So price is now above the trend line. Okay. Price is now above the trend line. So what that means is that as long as it stays above this trend line and support level 33.30, you can expect price to continue to push higher. Okay, you can expect price to continue to push higher. This is another one here. Right, so as long as price stays above 33.60 and 33.30, okay, then you can expect price to continue to push higher above this area. That's for gold. That's for gold. If you cut that move below the neckline, please you could drop it in the chat box. I remember we spent time on this last week to highlight those important levels, and interestingly, it played out as expected. And then that gave us to about 600 pips more. Again, we know what that means for gold. So if you caught that, please share with me. All right, so that's about the assets that I have for us for today. It's one that I'm going to be watching. All right. If you have questions on the assets we've been able to analyze so far, now would be the time to make them known. All right. So that we can spend the next 5 minutes looking at that before we call it a day. Well, it's difficult to give a specific answer, Eddie. For me, whether it's USD pairs or non-USD pairs, what I'm looking for is a setup to trade. All right. I'm looking for structure. I'm looking for two levels. All right. So whether I see it on USD pairs or non-USD pairs, all right, whichever one I have a structure, a style of trading, whether it's USD pairs or non-USD pairs. Okay. But of course, USD pairs tend to have more momentum. They move faster, unlike some other non-USD pairs. Okay, USD JPY. Let's see what is it? USD JPY. Okay, we have a structure on 4 hours time frame, right? For USD JPY. Of course, because of the weakness of the USD, you can see how these two sold off aggressively from this high, all right? Sold off aggressively, but these two appears to have found bottom at 140 price level, okay? This is USD JPY. this is the 4 hours time frame. All right. So, like I said, it appears to have also found bottom at this critical support level at 140. Okay. So, what that means is that from this 140, you see high. All right. You see higher low. All right. And then we see higher high. All right. So, after higher high, we expect higher low. All right. And that is what we currently have. All right. That is what we currently have. Okay. So, we're looking at the area between 144, the area between 144 and this level right here, 143.3. Okay, that's the area we're looking at for this new low that is formed. All right. So what it means is that from this current level, we expect to see some buying pressure right here, so that we can long USD JPY. Okay. Now, because USD is the base currency here, we also need to keep an eye on the USD index. Will close above 99.6. All right, which of course would mean this also getting bullish. So at the current level, we now need to wait for a reversal pattern, all right, so that we can expect this to push higher from that current level. Yeah, and yeah, I hope you got that for USD JPY. Okay, so again, if what we get instead to close below that support, then that would be weak for USD JPY. Then we can switch to a more bearish bias for USD JPY. Okay, Oyeshino, you're coming. You can unmute.
Hello, sir. Good morning, sir.
Yeah, good morning to you, sir. Thank you very much.
I was saying, can we enter a buy for gold now? Is it safe?
A buy for gold now. A buy for gold now. This is gold now. Yeah, so like I said, above the 360, it's bullish above the 360. But of course, we have this resistance right here. You could see that when we got that breakout with this long green candle, it stops right here at this resistance. And right about now, price is finding it difficult to break above that level. Okay, so except you're an aggressive trader, that's when you jump right in for a buy. For me, I'll be more interested in seeing a close above this resistance, and then that would now trigger a buy for me. But this resistance, I need to be mindful of it. That's why I'm not going to jump right in for the buy and close right now.
Okay, you have to close above that resistance.
Yes, this resistance, right? It has to close above this resistance. So number one, if I get some retracements, all right, if I get some retracements around this area, then I can buy. Or I see a close above this resistance, then I can also buy.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, sir. And then I have Modesta. Modesta, you have the floor.
Hello, sir. Good morning,
Hello,
sir.
Ma. Good morning to you, Ma. Good morning to
Yes,
you,
sir. Sir, please, I want to know the period of your moving average.
Okay, it's 50.
And then is it
It's 50.
exponential or simple?
Say it's period 50. It's exponential. It's exponential and it's period 50.
50. All right, all right.
Yeah, thank you very much. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, it's safe to call it a day, right? We have quite a number of assets for today for trade opportunities. We have those who are watching for them to play out, and so that we can join the trend. Okay. Like I said earlier, a lot of these assets are beginning to set up for fantastic trade opportunities. Of course, I don't want to miss them, and you should not miss them as well. Okay. So thank you very much for joining today. Tomorrow is another session of the morning market with you. Do join us same time. Thank you very much. I wish us a great trading day.